So just making our way through a few villages now, on our way to the first controls, which is around about 30k further, so it'll be an hour and a half of riding depending on the terrain ahead of us. So let's see what happens. It's been a weird morning this morning. So I woke up at 3:30. I set my alarm for 4:15, so I woke up sort of 3/4 an hour early. No point in trying to sleep at 3:30. I need to be woken up again 45 minutes later. So I've been really looking forward to this ride all week. Wanted to get out. Knew the weather was going to be pretty good, so looking forward to that. Strangely, as I started the ride, I felt a lot of anxiety. Don't know why. Maybe just the nerves of starting. You sort of expect the nerves first before the ride, and then calm down during the ride. But this time, I seem to have them at the start. During the first hour, subdued a little bit now, maybe because I'm on my own. I'm not sort of riding with anybody, trying to keep up with anybody. Maybe that's what it is. Hard to say really, but anyway, just trying to find a rhythm to get into. The weather's gorgeous, the scenery is splendid. Time to sort of control the breathing a bit, just find a comfortable position, comfortable rhythm, get the legs turning. It does take me a while to really warm up. Sometimes it can take 100 or 200 kilometers for me to really feel like I'm on fire and warmed up. Let's see how we feel today. Lovely villages to go through today. Very quiet at 7:30 in the morning. This is the third of the climbs that my Garmin is reporting of 17. This one is a relatively easy grade, 7%. Just 25 metres of elevation. Just another 700 metres to go. I think it's not too bad. So just gotta find a nice gear, nice rhythm, nice cadence. Just grind it out. This is hill number 4, 2.7k climb, 130 metres. Grades are not too bad at the moment, sort of 6 or 7%. So just select a lower gear and just find a rhythm. A few little flat bits to recover on. A lovely forest, as you can see, that's surrounding us. I think the grade kicks up a little bit here, so but we're not far from the first controls, so time for a short rest, coffee and cake before the push to the Dorset coast. So yeah, see if this kicks up now. Gravity doesn't help us larger frame people. There we go. Got to push on. Stourhead House and Gardens, a lovely little farm shop. Just had a sausage roll and a latte, keep me going, filled up with water. The main thing on these things is just to keep a bit of food going in your mouth, plenty of fluids, make sure you've got enough fluids for the next segment. So this is around about 60k I think to the Dorset coast. A bit of hills on the way, not sure how much, but there'll be a couple of climbs on shore as we go to Dorset. Riding on my own today. This is the first 300 I've done on my own, so that's going to make it interesting, especially with the wind. So I've got no windbreak, I've just got a sort of motor into the wind. The wind today is beginning to rise. It's a kind of brisk southwesterly wind, so there'll be a component of it all the way down to Dorset. So a bit of an interesting moment. About 2k back, got attacked by a Labrador. Obviously didn't like cyclists. Morning. The lady had two dogs, a black and a white Labrador. Both of them were quite aggressive. The woman was in a mobility scooter, so she had no control over the dogs at all. They were not in the lead, and the black dog decided to harass me. Sorry, the white dog decided to harass me, clearly going for my hand. Fortunately I didn't get it on camera, otherwise I would have reported it. Quite aggressive, chased me 200 yards down the road. I managed to get alongside it and then just obviously just tried to accelerate away from it so it couldn't catch me, but it was going for my hand. It clearly wanted to have a piece of meat. Very, very aggressive. First time I've had that. So top of the bridge heading towards Blandford Forum. Every town in Dorset is a double-barrelled village name. It was quite a tasty climb. Some 15% long, 15% ramp. Probably a little bit more than that. A couple of areas of 20% of the. But yeah, that's one more conquered. So that's 6 of the 17 done. I think that's one of the tougher ones today. Top of the ridge, views over the hedges are stunning, though I can't quite get them on camera. They don't really show up very well on this Insta360. Doesn't really do landscapes, but you know, this is designed for 360 general purpose video capture. So the hedges are protecting me from the wind at the moment, but there's quite a breeze around at the moment. Strava says there's 50 metres to go this climb. It's just where this cell tower is. So it's pretty stunning views. The countryside is amazing. Some large stately home with almost like a cathedral on the side of it. I'll find out what it is in a second, but it's a pretty impressive place, whether it's a school or a stately home. It's probably a school by the looks of it. See what it says a bit further down here. See the school fields and cows out. Wow, that's amazing. Place to be. School. Oh, yeah. jump. And football, well, looks like hockey probably. Hockey pitches. We don't play football at a place like this. No, it looks like maybe some football. So yeah, Milton Abbey. What does it say? So co-educational boarding and school, 13 to 16 or 18. So yeah, I guess you'd have to be boarded at that place. I don't know how close it is to Milton Abbey is probably the nearest town or village. So wow, okay, a bit of a climb coming up now. Climb number 7, 24 metres of climbing. 4% average grade into a forest. School with its own abbey. Wow. Amazing. So we're now 100k into the ride. It's taken 4 hours 40 since the depart. Got 8th climb coming up. 207k to go. Once you get below 200k, it sort of feels like, okay, you're getting home, you've got 160 to the 100-mile mark, and that does feel very achievable. It's nice to get it down below 200k, and then it sort of feels a bit more like a club ride home then. How are you, my friend? Look at you. You're beautiful little ponies. Sorry, I haven't got no food for you. No bananas. See you later. Plan. Keep over the country. So, the sun's coming out again. It got a bit cloudy earlier. It seems to be clearing a little bit. I guess it's just going to be a little bit like this today. Fair weather cloud, sometimes blocking the sun. So this is a nice bit of moorland. Looks like it's a dead straight road through here. Let's get it in the top ring. Get on the tri-bars as we head into the wind. Just get a bit of aero into the wind. Save a bit of energy. It's quite exposed up here, so feels like it's coming from my right hand side, so the west southwesterly. So not totally into the wind, but a reasonable component into it. A bit gusty, side winds, but with my weight it counteracts side winds, and I don't have big deep rims which act as sails, so that's a positive. Probably hear the wind blowing. pleasant second controls. Go to Lulworth by the coast. Nice and busy. Time for a coffee and a ice cream. Got a receipt. Arrived there 11:31. Departing in 11:56. It's probably there a bit too long. So got the wind behind us now, and heading towards Corfe Castle and the ferry that will take us across to Sundown. So with lumps to negotiate. So first climb out of Lulworth, and then second climb to negotiate. It's pretty flat then to Sundown and around Poole, and then we start heading north back towards Bristol. So that's climb number 10 done. It was quite a steep one over the army firing range, so it's like going to be a gentle downhill now, down towards Corfe Castle, and then there's a bit of a gravel that'll take us to the Foot Ferry. So it's absolutely gorgeous here. You can see the view, but I don't think this camera really does it justice. But yeah, it must be 350 metres above sea level. Get correct gears after climbing in the granny cog. Something a bit more appropriate. Quite sure what this village is called, but it's absolutely stunning. Some great cottages, lovely, absolutely stunning. Shame about all the traffic. Seems to be quite a busy back road. Obviously lots of tourists. Getting outside to go to the beaches. Seems a shame, get on your bike and cycle to these places, not drive. So we're coming upon Corfe Castle. It's somewhere where I've not been for probably 40 years. Came on holiday with my parents a long time ago to Poole and visited Corfe Castle. Amazing. Amazing place. So it is coming up for Swanage. 8 miles to the toll ferry. That's where we're heading. Take us to Sundown and Poole. And Poole represents the halfway mark of this 310-kilometre ride. That'll take us past the Sunseekers yard, which is the first part of the name of this Audax. Second part is the Moonrakers pub, which is all the way up in Devizes. So I'm guessing is probably something like 120k ahead of me. Okay. past the Sunseekers yard on the left. Now heading out. Heading out to the pool. There's chaos on the seafront. Not particularly pleasant. Everybody seems to be ignoring the cycle lanes and just walking through them. But hey ho. So just leaving the pool area. It's a maze of cycle lanes, shared pathways. Reminds me of Germany, where I cycle a lot. So where segregation of cars and bikes is probably the way to go. It's a nightmare sharing the road with anybody. Thank you. Road bikes are not too bad on gravel, just the tyres, what tyres you have, and obviously it's just a little bit of luck really. You've got an elevated risk of pinch flats or something worse. Well, this segment from pool to the fourth controls is long. Really from Lulworth. I just filled up my water bottles and I didn't take any more water, so I was getting pretty low. A couple of k's back there, really searching around for a pub or anywhere to get some water. Thankfully I found a village, and there was a village shop detoured a little bit from the route just to get some water. I grabbed a sandwich as well, so I've just had the sandwich, just had 5 minutes rest. Sometimes these longer segments, because this was like probably 140k to 220k, so it's like an 80k section to the next controls. So yeah, 80k between controls is quite a long way. On 400s and 600s it's normally 80k between controls, so I like to sort of stop midway, 40k, and just a breather. So that's what I just did then, probably at 50k. Got another 30k to go. Got a couple of hills in the way between now and the controls. So control number 4 completed. Now 2 227k into the ride, just 80k to go. The next control is actually at 250. That's the Moonrakers pub. So nice short run. I think there's a couple of climbs, but too serious, I don't think. Yeah, so making reasonably good progress. It's coming up for 6 o'clock, so that's 12 hours into the ride. So given pace and hills and stops, we're about on target. So 50 miles to go. Should be able to do that in 3 hours with a stop as well. It's probably going to take me to 9:30, 10 o'clock, which I'll be reasonably pleased with. So that was the penultimate climb, a nice little tasty 11%er just after the 5th control. I'm back on the gravel again. Pain in the arse actually, you know, to gravel on this ride. Just don't need this sort of risk of punches really. Anyway. Descent now on gravel, which is never good. You have to put the camera away actually so I can brake on both the steer on both. Unfortunately, my camera ran out of battery, so I wasn't able to record the final 30k, and also when I arrived at the Arrive. Needless to say, it was getting cold, it was getting dark. I had to put my arm warmers on, and arrived into Warmley at about 5 to 10, so did it overall in just under 16 hours, which I'm very pleased about. A warm cup of tea and some cake, and the organiser, Will Pomeroy, was there to greet us all and validate our cards, and we'll all be sent off now to ACP, the Audax Club Parisian, and they'll get formally validated, and we'll get a number, which means that they have been validated by the ACP in Paris. Yeah, and that's the end of a fantastic ride. Really pleased with it. My first solo won 300k. Pretty amazing to do 300k solo, no help at all, no drafting. Wasn't with my normal comrade Mike here, but he was doing another sort of 300 himself. And yeah, it was great weather. The wind was challenging. The hills were challenging, but it was just a fantastic route. Lots of different surfaces that made it challenging, and a thoroughly great Audax event. So I'm pleased to have completed it. I'm tired. Want to go home, get some food, and get